Mayor Dada Morera put a city budget of 77 billion rands in the hands of MMC Margaret Arnolds. This is for the record. Why do you think the mayor chose you in particular for this position?
To be honest, I think the mayor's motivation was that I want Margaret because she's a fast learner. I want Margaret because I didn't know, but he said she has integrity.
Wow.
I want Margaret because I know Margaret will be able to run the finances of the city effectively and efficiently. And that to me has really humbled me because, we as people never know what we have in ourselves. We always just look at ourselves as who we are, and we attach to ourselves who we want to be. And those were the things that I'm really humbled that when the mayor said those words.
Wow. And what is Margaret bringing to the position of the MMC of Finance?
I think Margaret will bring to the position integrity, as the mayor said. I also believe that Margaret will bring about looking at the areas and the people that were marginalized before. And I think Margaret will bring equal allocations to everybody. We have areas where we have the affluent and we have areas where we have the marginalized. And we need to look at that because our people are equally important. It doesn't matter whether you're from Soweto or whether you're from Sandton, but you are a resident of the city of Johannesburg, and we need to look at you equally.
Wow.
And that is what Margaret will be bringing to the table.
Wow. Speaking of that equality that you want to be bringing in, will you still be working with some of your team members? Are you looking at recruiting from fresh? How are you looking at tackling this new challenge that you have ahead of you?
Okay, I will be meeting with the department on Friday. As the mayor has taken us on a quick accelerated service
Yes.
delivery. You know that we've been in Eldorado Park, we've been in Westbury, we've been running around. Thus, I only attended to you today. But I believe that I'm going to look at what there is in the office, and then I'm going to structure the office around with what there is. I do not want to go into a situation where I shoot down everybody or take out everybody, because institutional memory is big. You cannot go in there and decide to take out everybody and bring in a whole lot of new people. I'm also new in the position. Can you imagine what's going to happen? We're going to fall over our feet with each other, because I won't know what to do. They won't know what to do. So I want to go in there, listen and see what we have there. And I don't think I'm going to remove people just willy-nilly. It's my second time being an MMC. I was MMC for community development, and I went into community development and I said to them, there's something called a lane. When you're on the road, you have lanes. You have a lane for traffic coming up, and you have a lane for traffic going down. So we have these lanes as the officials, and I as the political head will have my lane. So we need to educate each other when to put in on our indicators or when to put on our headlights, so that we are able to move through these lanes together. And that is what I want, because I know that they can make me look good, and I can make them look good. Remember, what we have in the departments are professionals. They are professionals, and we're going to look at what these professionals has to give to me. And so I want people to understand that finance goes with employees.
True.
If you have unhappy employees, you're going to have an unhappy city. And I wouldn't want to have an unhappy city. And I wouldn't want to fail at this, because I also believe that together we are able to do it.
Wow, it strikes me as an awe, because there's not a lot of people that tend to think of, if your employees are not happy, then how can you run a company?
Yes.
So it's such an eye opener to hear someone in such power speak about that so profoundly and so bold and proudly. Now, speaking of the different lanes, what are going to be your top 3 priorities within the next 6 months?
Yeah, my first priority was given to me by the mayor yesterday in Westbury, that I need to have an open day. And I think we're going to do this in all the regions. Start having open days because people are complaining about their billing system that has not been good. So I'm going to be starting with the open days so that we can see where the glitches are, so that we can assist with those glitches. And I want residents to know, come to the open day, come and talk to us, because we don't know everything. You are able to say to us, this is what is wrong, and we will look at how we deal with that. I also said in my opening remarks that I want to look at the previously marginalized areas and see what is happening there. I know in areas where I come from, like El Dorado Park, Soweto, and all those areas, we have the issues with the billing problems. We need to look at that. But I also know big companies also have problems with their billings, and we need to look at that. So my priorities will be to first look at what goes on in all the different areas, and then put down a plan with the mayor and say, this is the plan that we want to go forward with. So I can't say to you, number one will be that, number two will be that, number three will be that. But I also need to get in there and say, how do we deal with it? But I know that the marginalized areas will take preference so that we can look at that. But those people that call themselves the ratepayers of the city, they also should not be scared and say, now we are going to pay rates for those people. No, we are going to look at, there's every foot has a shoe that fits it.
True.
So we're going to give you the right fitting shoe so that you are able to walk properly with those shoes.
Wow. And what will you change in the portfolio that you are now representing?
I think
You've covered
I've covered a lot of them. I think what I want to change is I need to have a happy city of Johannesburg. But I also need to come in and say that, the 77 billion is not enough for the city. How does business come into this, and how do they assist us with the finances of the city? How can they come about to assist in programs that will assist the city? This is it's not a one person thing. It's not only the city. We need all the stakeholders to come on board and make this the beautiful city, African class city. That's what we need.
Wow. That is definitely going to be a positive way forward, and I'm looking forward to all of these changes. So hopefully we'll also get a front row seat for all these promotions that you'll be having, the launches, the welcomes, and so forth. Hopefully we'll get a front seat for that. Now, of course, as the new MMC for finance, what legacy do you wish you could leave behind, or that you would want to leave behind?
I want to leave behind a legacy where people will remember me for being the change that they wanted to see. I want them to see me as the person that made a difference in the lives of the citizens of Johannesburg. I want to be the person that they would say, she had the purse, she did not misuse the purse, she used the purse for us.
Yes.
I want them to say that we can say with confidence that wherever she goes, we know that there'll be a difference. I want to be that person, but I also want to say that I cannot be that person if I don't have all the role players involved and all the role players play with me. I am also a human being. I would make mistakes because I'm human. And I want people to come and say, this was a mistake. We are able to assist you in that way. And that applies to the executive as well. It applies to the residents and to everybody that lives in the city of Johannesburg.
Oh, I really look forward to seeing all the changes that you are planning to implement. And I look forward to probably having another interview with you, where this time it'll be more about Margaret herself. So thank you so much for joining us in studio, and we look forward to seeing the change that you'll be bringing here in Johannesburg.
I must thank you guys, and always, I love the way that you're always there for the city of Johannesburg. It's not the first time that I'm here, but I'm glad to be here, and I hope that you will do what you do all the time.